I just wish I could. I can't like. I like it clears my head to take walks, and now a walk necessarily involves a shower, and that's hard to factor into a work day.
Yeah.
Too hot.
I think we went live a little bit early, which is fine.
So that's fine for me. Well, you just lead it. I'll follow.
Yeah, we went live early. That's actually good. For some reason, they improved a little bit the going live process from Streamlabs. Okay, all right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today in episode number 25 for the No Man's Sky Wonders Show. Really appreciate you taking time on Saturday morning, evening, wherever you are, to watch the show, which is about the different No Man's Sky experiences in virtual reality. These experiences are usually bases, but also a lot of stories and journeys that we go through together every week. Today, we are going to have a special guest joining, I think, pretty much for the first time ever on our show. So he is a player who has been playing since day one. He's a big fan of No Man's Sky and a lot of other stuff, but he's also a blogger, a content creator, and have a lot of different skills and hobbies. So joining us today is gonna be Blake from the No Man's Sky community. Hey, Blake, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Yeah, this is I only became fairly recently aware of your stream and pretty good stuff I've been watching, and I certainly appreciate the reach out to be able to talk a little bit about No Man's Sky.
Perfect. And as usual, on my left, correct, but you guys can see, we have Maximus from Chimera Corp, the leader of the Chimera Corp and one of my co-hosts and very, very good friends to me. Max, buddy, how are you doing today?
Hello. Oh, very good.
How is things going in Chimera Corp?
Oh, excellent. We're just been doing the streams for all the builds that were just finished up. Badhouse and Silver were just streaming for the last 6 hours. So if they miss something, they'll get it on the next one. It's fine. But it's been great. The turnout has been fantastic. A lot of good use of the parts, as we've had the same parts for all this time. So it's nice to see the same thing done differently. It's
Bad Hat Harry also today was on fire with Enra. I joined a little bit in and in, but it was great. And on my
you have to go see his new base. It's a freighter base, basically built out of, it's like an archive build of freighter parts. Anyway, it's that's a whole other can of worms.
Yeah, and Zeps also. It was a fun stream for 6 hours. One day my max is 3 hours, and this is something I'm not planning to do anymore anytime soon. So hopefully I can exceed it. And I was saying on my right, correct, we're gonna have another co-host, the lovely Kim Sparkle Rain. So hey Kim, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Hi everybody.
If you haven't seen the latest build of Kim, it was a very wonderful ice sprinkle. It's on Twitter, and I don't think you made a video yet for this build, Kim.
The snowflake? No. I was just
floating in the sky.
Like a serious build, but everybody seemed to like it, so I don't know.
It was nice. It got my attention. I was trying to zoom in. How did you do that? And yeah, that was pretty impressive.
Kim's great at wonky angles. He always is. Every time I see it, it's like, oh, look at that. It's just like fantastic. Yeah, it's the angle stuff is always like, what was that airship that you did too? That was just mesmerizing, just walking through. So
I think that's my favorite build. Yeah.
It's like taking things and putting them on their side, and it's just like all of a sudden it's just twice as good, right?
Yeah.
And Kim, what do you play on? What platform are you on? Or do you build on?
I'm on an Xbox Series X.
Okay, nice.
So my favorite fighters are passing by, and it's a sunset. Hopefully, it's gonna be a very nice, cool, chill stream today. So I stream in virtual reality. I enjoy playing space games in virtual reality. Only recently I got a Quest 2 to be able to play PC VR space games. But still, PSVR 2 is still the king of the headsets, and No Man's Sky is still the king of space games. So Blake is gonna hopefully walk us today through 3 of his recent builds and tell us a little bit about his journey with No Man's Sky and a lot of other interesting topics. If you are on the chat and you're joining us for the first time, when I'm playing No Man's Sky in VR, I literally don't want or can't see the chat. I can hear it, but it distracts me a lot. So I'm gonna be depending on Kim and Max to get us any questions you guys want to ask, and really appreciate your your time joining us today. So Blake, sorry for the long introduction, but thank you for joining us today, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, I can talk a bit about.
Why don't you give us a little bit of introduction about yourself while I'm looking to this very strange and unique what is this actually? It's an inorganic object. So I haven't seen this before. It's cool. So yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead. Sorry. So I'm gonna be doing some strange stuff in here while you give us a little bit of introduction.
Sure. Yeah, there's the little water area on this planet has some interesting little things in it right by the base. But yeah, so I am a day one player. I became aware of No Man's Sky only about 9 months before it launched, and so I came in at that point and got rather excited about it, and on day one I got into it and started playing, and I actually I remember those early days and some of the drama. I actually was just insanely taken with the game. I loved it. The fact, the solitude, the feeling that you were completely alone and the terrain was crazy. So I was just taken with it. It's what I'd always wanted from a game, the scale, and it was wonderful. So I guess I was playing PS4, and I remember to make it more like a cockpit experience, I brought the PS4, put it on a desk, bought a curved screen, and started playing it, closer, more like a PC. And then finally, after about 3 weeks, I decided I wanted to maybe go with higher resolution, higher frame rate, and change the field of view. You used to not be able to change the field of view, which really is something that people wanted for a couple of years. Well, you could do it on PC. You couldn't do it on PS4. So I built a PC to play it, and I've been playing on PC since. I recently did an upgrade because the game has gotten more and more complex with each update, which is certainly a high-class problem. But at any rate, so it's, obviously my favorite game. I started a blog about it. I guess the first blog post was about a month or two after the game came out. And so, I've been doing that. I don't think there's a lot of blogs online about it, but I think in the gaming space, it seems like people are much more interested in, YouTube and live streams. So I enjoy my four readers or so.
I hope you'll get much more readers. Guys, if you haven't read Blake blog, the link is in the description. I mean, I don't have a lot of subscribers myself, but blog have always been something that's interesting. I remember my own blog. I still have it, by the way. It's like for some reason blogs started to slowly die. But yeah, I think we usually bloggers write for themselves, but hopefully you'll get a couple of more people. Yeah, go ahead. So sorry to interrupt.
Well, thank you. No, I run. I have 3 blogs total. Another one, my other, I guess, proper to mention that my other big interest and hobby is vintage computing. I actually I'm sitting in a room full of systems from basically the 80s that I play with quite frequently. So I enjoy that, and I guess interestingly, one of the blog posts I was able to post on both blogs was I took a series of screenshots from No Man's Sky. I think I have like 90,000 screenshots in my directory I've taken since the beginning. I'm a big in-game photographer. That's almost like at this point like kind of half of the game for me, which is just fine. But at any rate, and I have a Flickr if anyone's interested. It's linked on the blog, but with kind of the best of my shots in my opinion. But I have a vintage system. One of them has particularly good graphics for the mid 80s. It's a Commodore Amiga computer, and unusually good graphics for the time. So I took a bunch of screenshots, my best, and I ran them through a converter to actually get them in the format that this system could display in its unusual high color mode. And I just made a screenshot and did a video and kind of posted it. And actually, Sean Murray saw it and retweeted it, and he was apparently quite impressed. He mentioned, "Oh yeah, so the Amiga was the best computer." It was like a big Amiga Atari, especially in the UK back then. So he's like, "I knew the Amiga. This proves that the Amiga was always best." And of course, his retweet just floored my server. It was offline for like a day. The traffic. I have a little bit better caching now, but usually, as I said, with my 4 to 5 readers, heavy load is not usually a problem unless Sean Murray tweets you out. So so that was a dual blog post that applied to both.
It's the dream of every No Man's Sky player, getting retweeted by Sean Murray. Kim got retweeted by Sean Murray before. But how can I enter? Should I just fly in? Is there a specific place you want me to drop in?
No, it's this little lighthouse island. Yeah, there's not really a step. I think if you just fly and land on the deck, down lower, kind of the rim, and watch out for the fire. The lighthouse.
Let me just enjoy this a little bit. But
death trap, I guess.
Kim, Max, guys, anyone you want to welcome in the chat? Any questions from the chat? Any new faces?
Sorry, my chat. I glitched out. Give me a second here.
I see a lot of hellos.
And Laszlo and Solir.
Hey, Solir, thank you for joining, buddy. Hey, Zaps. So try the new commands. It should work now, Kim. So I want to say before I drop down to the first base. They don't?
Well, if you have one for Solir, it didn't work, but we'll try the other ones later.
I really need to test this. I don't know. I'm still missing something. But what I was trying to say is the underwater world of No Man's Sky is always very impressive. Now, the water themselves still don't feel different. I mean, most of the VR game will make advantage of the PSVR 2 haptics and try to make when you are swimming, it will give you a little bit of resistance. But No Man's Sky didn't do this. But it's still very nice, feeling being immersed fully in water. And I like the fires, to be honest. So, tell us a little bit about, blogging. Why do you like making too much blogs? I mean, specific feelings,
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, I guess I started, I mean, my first blog, which was this, vintage computing blog. I mean, I'm not as young as some of the people around here. So like those 80s computers, they're the computers that I was using as a kid. And so I started reacquiring them in, around 2000 or so. So yeah, a few years after that, I started blogging just to kind of, share the experience. I would find something interesting, do some interesting project with something, and it made it much more enjoyable to be able to show it. Because I confess my, wife and daughter aren't highly, impressed when I get a 8-bit computer to connect to the Mac or something. So
tell me about it, man.
Nice to share it. Yeah, nice to share it. I mean, that goes with No Man's Sky too. I have to say. I mean, my daughter loves she likes the fact that there's something called ferrite dust. She calls it ferret dust, and so she likes that. But
that's what I used to call it myself. No, I think I haven't seen yet a couple who both play No Man's Sky. I know some of my friends, they play No Man's Sky with their family, but I still haven't seen two couples. I mean, my wife hates the word No Man's Sky. She hates it, correct? Because it takes a lot of the family time. And the second most hated thing that my wife hates is, you can take a guess, virtual reality. Correct. So these are the two things that my wife's hate ever. Correct. So but you haven't told me, correct. So why did you start your first blog? And by the way, some of us are really, really old here.
Okay.
I am almost 40 myself. Just let you know.
Okay. Well, I've got you beat. I'm afraid on the age front, but at any rate. Yeah, so just I would with the retro computing thing, which is my first, I would do something and it was interesting, but then that's been done. But if I blogged about it, I could then, occasionally share it with someone else who had a similar interest. I mean, there's communities out there. I mean, even before Discord and everything, like IRC and just general web forums and things like that. And so I'd post it, and then I'd get a discussion going about what I had done, and someone, oh yeah, this is great, I'm going to try it, or hey, did you try this? So it became a much more enjoyable for me to do anything that I have in mind with the retro computing, to be able to know that I can share it, take a video. There's no ads on any of my blogs. The retro blog has been around for 19 years. I'm still running it.
Oh my goodness, 19 years?
Yep, since 2004. And the No Man's Sky was just the same, I was especially motivated, I guess, because there was a lot of backlash at the beginning with No Man's Sky, the whole drama. And I actually was one of the people that really loved the way it was, and so I was trying to kind of share that
defend it
opinion. Yeah, and, I mean, I got actually, I will say, I one of the blog posts I made, which was talking about, this is early, 2016, how No Man's Sky was by far the best game I'd ever imagined. I actually got a denial of service attack on my blog because somebody was so pissed off about the beginning state of the game that for 4 days an orchestrated attack on my blog was happening. So
oh my God.
That was a rough time. Yeah, anyway, the sentiment obviously has changed dramatically since then. But anyway, so that's the motivation. And so I enjoy it. I don't make any money on it. And as you pointed out, I think we've moved into a mode where people are much more interested in, audio podcasts, video streams, video podcasts.
I'm not so sure about this. But I think it's slightly, more interested slowly in this. But I believe, people will still have passion for the old ways of doing the stuff. Max, you wanted to say something, buddy?
Well, it's very interesting because old computers were always fascinating to myself, because even having the old late 80s, early 90s Macs with just one color, just being able to see it work and just And I thought of like, yeah, like there being a whole market behind people wanting to tear them apart and emulate them and, you know, reinsert program, just making photo like, and I can see like, yeah, it's like, hey, if I saw my game that was being put into like a technology that was 30 years older than what I intended it for, like, of course, like it's just, I'm happy that, you know, it was it's nice to get that recognition where it's due for like stuff that like not everybody rips stuff apart and puts it back together anymore, right? Like that whole mentality is virtually gone. So it's like I used to tear apart guitars and reset them and sand them and finish them and put them back together in the garage, and like I was 12 years old, and like it's sad that like that culture is gone. Like the fix it yourself, do it yourself, like, and just like I was fascinated, but just like being like yeah, music has always been pretty heavy, and but yeah, like the whole like. And then like technology, like I wish I kind of embraced it more than I did, because like it just like I kind of grew up on the cusp of, you know, like I'm like a, what do they call me, like a senior millennial. So like I remember like stuff before screens were in every toddler's hands. Like, you know, like I kind of look at my child and kind of whinge because like we didn't have that like direct touch access that like they're learning it in a different way. Like we learned it in like brutally like waiting for things to boot up. Just the time it took for things to energize, right? Like there's just such like a divide between like your time and your results, which is like, so yeah, no, I'll definitely like, there's not many blogs that I've, you know, I frequent just because they kind of like Milani said, it killed them. They kind of made them die and like created like these podcasts seem to be huge now. Like, I'm sure you maybe double on that, but yes, we always lose money on this guy. It's a hobby. It's not it'll never get us rich. It's never meant to, like, I'm enriched by just, you know, being here. Does this kind of stuff, you know, like, so yeah, no, I'm definitely curious about seeing old stuff, you know, become new again. So that's definitely interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely. It feels like being in the retro computing community, which actually somehow is growing. I guess people see the emulators and they're like, what's all this about? And then they go on eBay and find something, you know, an old system or something. But it feels like you're
trendy.
Yeah, it does seem like it in a way, and it's can't really put my finger on it. I guess it's a combination of, you know, emulation and now nostalgia, and even if you weren't actually there, but it feels like I'm still kind of in that, you know, tear it down, you know, make it work community. I mean, and I am, you know, in the retro computing space, and what's interesting is there's just all these, like, I was, you know, when I was doing this, it was floppy disks, like before we had hard disks because they were too expensive at home, and now like there's new, because of the cheapness of fabrication, like like almost all of the systems in here that use floppies, like there's a modern, like in the last 5 years, these devices have been made. They sell them right now new, like $100, and they're like you attach it, you put 1,000 floppies images on an SD card, and it emulates the floppy drive. So it's becoming much more possible to use these old machines, like the failure points, the mechanical points, you can replace with a modern $100 add-on, and it's nuts that market exists, that people are now making. Like I have right now, looking across the room, I have a 1982 Apple IIe that's showing me an IRC chat discussion wirelessly logged into the Mac Studio to my left. So it's like I'm using it in a modern way, but it's just I get to have the feel of it. But anyway, so yeah, it's definitely good. But
yeah, what are you doing trying to destroy his place with fire here?
Yeah. So no, I'm actually very impressed with the huge amount of details in such small space. I haven't seen anything like this before. There is just a lot of attention for a lot of stuff, and the word that you mentioned is mainly nostalgia, correct? So somehow, you know, this just gives a feeling of you know, how things used to look like, you know, when we used to put posters beside the beds, you remember, in our rooms for a space, 60s, 70s, you know, posters. So everything here gives this nostalgia, feelings. Everything is just so well organized. If it's so bagged, I mean, looking to this in virtual reality really gives me this nostalgia feeling. And while I keep you guys speaking about the relics from the past, it's just returned me of my own early days when I was just trying to put up my first rig. And the card, it was a miracle to connect, find these cards and buy them, charge them, the modem cards. But let's get back to No Man's Sky a little bit here.
Sure.
This base, you mentioned that you like making stuff very realistic as possible. But before we go there, Max and Kim, anyone who need to welcome from the chat? Any questions? Any familiar faces? New faces?
When Enra popped in.
Yes, Enra Silver joined and said he was enjoying the tours and he was been a busy bee in the weekend hives.
Hey Enra, thank you for joining, man. Guys, if you haven't seen Enra's stream today, it was a mammoth stream with bad hat Harry. It was wonderful. Thank you for dropping, buddy. So this build, what is the philosophy behind having such realistic builds in a sci-fi game? It's actually, for me, it gives me the feeling that there's a little bit of echo, but it's giving me the feeling that I'm a lone traveler, correct? I'm in a lone island, role traveler. This is a house for one person. So what is the story behind all of this loneliness, man?
Well, I think this base, this is I learned, I started, I remember when Foundation 1.1 came out and we could start building bases, and I've been doing it since. And I came to realize that the smaller bases with more details end up being more satisfying. So I guess I try to make them sort of cozy, I guess, very densely packed. And I think that this lighthouse, the idea behind this was there was a this is the Discord hub, the NMS Cord hub, it's called. And so knowing that there's a lot of people around, I thought it would be interesting to put sort of a beacon and lighthouse with the fire. So just a small dwelling, and that's kind of the solitary notion there. And I've had people come visit. I've been working on it, and people will come in the game and visit, and that's been very, very cool. But obviously, being a hub, there's a lot of people that are around sometimes.
And these
Like,
small
there's a
ships.
lot of echo with you right now.
Yeah, I hear a little. I wonder what. Yeah, I can't decide. I've got an ear.
If you have YouTube
have an earbud in.
open, maybe you need to mute YouTube. If you have it open, just mute it.
I have it open, but I turn the volume is muted. It's completely off.
What a great
actually
view
know
off
that.
that deck there.
It's gone now.
That's just a fishing view right there if I ever saw one. That's fantastic.
Oh yeah, the little
Marlin
the sailboat.
bonefish all day. Oh, that's great. I didn't even see that. That's great.
Yeah, I don't hear the echo anymore.
Yeah, it's gone. The echo is gone.
Okay, good.
I think it's
you're right.
sunrise. I
Real
really no. Test. No, it's gone.
It looks real good.
Yeah, I don't. Good, excellent.
I hope so. I hope it's gone. So what I was trying to say is lone traveler, correct? I mean, I really enjoy this base. I like this small, as Max mentioned, these small facing ships having a light, a beacon of light for lost traveler. Just a nice touch, because I like having lore for the bases. All right, I think we have covered pretty much this base. Let's go to maybe the next one. Anything you want to? I think I toured every inch. I told you I'm a very thorough, correct, in covering through the builds. And the cool thing is you have really paid a lot of attention to the bolsters, and it's an actual living room. You'll be able to sit here. There is interestingly no TV here. This is pretty much the first house that I haven't seen a TV. So looks like you are not a big fan of TV for some reason.
I do usually have TV in the houses. The one we're going to go to next, I think, has a TV. But one thing I will mention about this is there's a a few legendary lighthouses are, on a rock alone, and you have to be brought by a boat. So the landing pad is on a small island in the distance, and I use the water exocraft. What's it called? The one that floats? I can never remember. The Nomad or the hovercraft. Yeah, Nomad. So I have a pier and I come back and forth. So just a little touch, but
I noticed it. It was cool. I mean, I can't myself because this is a new save. I don't have anything, but I love the Nomad in No Man's Sky because they are so cool in VR. Really cool. And
seamless transport. Nothing else. It just goes from gliding on water to gliding on. Just keep on gliding on. Right up the mountain, baby. I love that thing.
Yeah. I know. Actually,
the seamless.
Yeah.
Hundreds of hours driving.
An important thing, I think.
This light's so cool.
That looks great from a distance there too. I like the little markers you put out in the water too. That's a little nautical. Like, hey, go around this way. Yar markers. Yar.
What was going on with the wheels on the ceiling in the house?
Oh, just kind of like I started it in a different base, and you're going to see a little more of it in the next base. But it feels like a mid, country western kind of thing. I thought it was just an interesting decoration. Definitely have in mind old wagon wheels.
Okay.
And also people are like, "What is that?" I was like, "Well, it's it seems there's only so many ways to make a ceiling panel not boring, and that's
True.
one, I guess. I'm not. I think if it sounds like you're much more of a glitch builder than I. I mean, I've got like 2 or 3 tricks that I can do that are super standard, but I just can't. I'm blown away by some of the, So given that I don't have the toolbox of a glitch builder, that was the easy way. And I do some other weird things with like plants, and we might see some of those in the others. But when you're ready, I'm happy to zoom us across. Shall I do that?
Yeah. I'm gonna go to the anomaly now and join you. If you are already at the second base, let me know. I just found a nice trick that in VR, if I turn my head around, I can actually see, my jetpack trail, which is very cool. Because I have never ever be able to see it. I always thought I was not able to see it in VR. So playing in VR have some pros and cons. One of the cons is that you can't see your jetpack trail. But now I just found that I can. Mm-hmm. I can just turn my head. But I will hit because I'm not looking in front of me. I just hit anything.
Super.
So
okay,
one question and no, don't laugh, but what does retro computing mean?
I think just using today using older systems for enjoyment, or more rarely for some productive purpose, just enjoying the using of the old systems, like
anything that's not currently in use, retro. It's like kind of back in the day sort of thing.
Yeah, and it's as we said, it's perhaps oddly growing, and I think people find it more interesting find it interesting now to look back, and it's crazy to look at where we are now technologically from like where I started. Again, I think I might be a little bit older than you guys, but it's we've all seen it just rush on. So
yeah.
Well, just look at vinyl. Like vinyl sales. Like downtown at Bay Blue Radio, they did a huge remodeling, and I walked through it when I was doing. I was looking at a boiler nearby, and I was like, oh well, they just finished Reno. Let's take a look. And just there's a whole 2 or 3 rows of just these absolutely beautiful new turntables, and they're not cheap, and they're just, and the people that were wandering around looking at them. I was just hey, you never know that if some of the great classic rock bands just even some of the they could see them, people still rummaging for their vinyls 50 years later. They'd definitely be a couple. Yeah, they'd be happy to see.
I heard, I don't know the number, but I heard even a year ago something LP vinyl outsold I mean, not many people buy CDs anymore with, digital, but I think they outsold CDs by like 15-1 or something.
Yeah, they clawed back like an insane margin. Yeah, like this is such a resurgence. It's great.
I see in the chat someone was mentioning that they heard the situation where they have to simulate the Palm Pilot handheld to use IMAX projectors occasionally. The old systems, old hardware needed to run new. It's funny.
Space, guys. So the reason I actually started this, I think maybe a couple of months ago, is because I always dreamed to go to space. And, with PSVR 2 clarity, it really simulates this. I mean, again, you see on the streams, PSVR 2, what we call share screen, social screen, something like this. But being in the headset, and I know, Black, you actually have a headset, correct? Just a completely different feeling.
I do.
It's a completely different feeling, and the scale of this asteroid fields is breathtaking. Really, it's breathtaking. I actually don't, I never get bored of this view. I mean, looking 360 around you, and wherever you look, you see these amazing asteroids with, the rings behind them. It's a sight to behold. I mean, we are in real life just pioneers, correct? We are just scratching the edge of space. We don't know what we are doing. We are still learning. But virtual reality really is crossing the bridge to there. Now, again, No Man's Sky is more of a little bit arcadey, but it's taking advantage, I mean, of the technology and entering through the atmosphere with the headset vibration and the pulse in the sense controllers. Just always warm my heart. All right.
Hey, so Lear's asking about your ship. Is that the one Enra gave you?
Yeah. This is the ship that Enra gave me, and I love it. But I'm trying to maybe I'm gonna jump on Enra's stream one more time and try to get another one, because this one have a long cover here on the top. I forgot what Niruzi calls these guys. And they block a little bit my field of view in VR, but it's just a cool shape. But in reality, the strange thing that I noticed is that every cockpit now is slightly different for these interceptor ships in VR, and even the lighting is slightly different. And however modifications you have, it actually impacts you. So we used to have only 5-6 cockpits, but now depending on the modification, you'll be able to actually look around and see the wings, you see the actual different parts. So there is a lot of different stuff that we still need to see in virtual reality. These interceptor cockpits are so cool in virtual reality, and the lighting effects, and when things are close to you in PSVR 2, they just look so cool.
It is nice to...
Holy shit! All right.
What?
I'm gonna come back up again.
Oh, that was a good one. Yeah.
I don't know why people love when I fall down.
You didn't even have a chance there. That was just straight 0 degrees, baby. See ya.
See, in reality, I can fall down without an issue. The problem is when I'm not expecting them. When I'm not expecting them is when it's becoming a little bit hard, because I know that I am in virtual reality. I know that this is not real, but I can actually trick my mind, because I let my imagination, take control of my more realistic part of my brain.
Nice. Well, that's immersion for you, I guess.
That's why different people, feel and experience VR slightly different. I mean, it's all about how far do you want to immerse. If you go to the cinema, if you go to a movie, do you let yourself enjoy the movie, or do you just, keep saying, this can't happen in real life, correct? So people who let themselves get immersed a little bit more are the people who will actually enjoy more virtual reality. I think I destroyed your house. I need to find a nice place.
I am the popcorn. I become the popcorn when I go to movies. Like we are the same being. So like we merge. Most people, I don't know. I can't go to see a movie without a giant bucket of popcorn. For people who can't eat it, I apologize, but it's delicious.
Nice.
Immersion.
I just cleared off the landing pad. If you might be able. I think it'll be fine.
Where is the landing pad? I can see it.
It should be. It's right. The building that you landed on. The pad is on the other side of it.
Okay, I'm gonna come.
But that's not the actual base.
Skills over here.
That's my. That's the. It's the pads up there. The base is in the middle of this. It's obviously a hollow tube elevation, but the pad is up top, I think, in the distance.
I made it. It was so cool. You made these trees in this circle shape?
I put the trees there, and they're different colors. Yeah, I didn't make the shape was natural. It just was a hollow, elevation, and I thought it would be cool to put a base in the middle of it. So it's up on stilts, and it's like a little 3-room, 4-room base. And then I ended up adding a pad at the top, and then down at the bottom there's like a deck with a grill and things like that. But the way you get into the main base, there's a local teleporter right there.
He just jumped in.
No. I was actually taking a look because it's so interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna come. I'm gonna come. Max, Kim, I forgot to ask you, what did you guys think about the first base?
That was really
fun.
nice.
I love seeing that. Yeah.
It was cozy. It gave me aquatic nautical, cottagey. Sort of have to take the boat from the parking lot and leave the phone in the glove compartment and say that's just it had that great. It was very nice. I liked it.
This one is small, and it probably. I think it has a coziness to it, but that's in the middle is the main. We can you can either jump or teleport. But there is, I think there's right behind us is one of the settlements, or not a settlement, a building. This is one of those planets that has a lot of very dense arrangement of buildings. Sometimes you see a planet where around every corner there's a building or a trading post or something. This is one of those planets. But
this is an infested planet, correct? No,
I don't know. I think it might not be.
It's just
all the flora up here I put in place. But this takes you to you're in the kind of the front door of this. And I've got up top, I've got some interesting water pipes, and I like using those little green guys.
I love these guys. This is one of my favorite parts that I love to try and put my hands inside because they simulate water. They are just so cool. So one question, Black. Is there a specific meaning behind BlakeSpot? I mean. Is there a story behind it?
Well, it was. I actually wish I had chosen another. I set up my homepage. I have a homepage, BlakeSpot.com. I needed, I wanted to say this is in 1997 or something. I set up my first little web page, and I wanted a domain name, and I'm Blake, and so BlakeSpot. This is Blake's Spot on the web, and then when I had to create. I had to create nicknames, forums were all over the place. For some reason, I used Blake. I guess my thought was, if I use BlakeSpot, and then maybe someone will think, maybe his website is that.com. So now my handle everywhere is this weird non-name, and half the people think it's Blake's Pot. So
it's a cool name, correct? But it's just a little bit mysterious.
I wish I'd rethought it. It's too late now. It's too late now, is everything. I'm everywhere I am, and I'm on a lot of places online, and I am BlakeSpot. So that ship sailed.
The only thing that comes to my mind when I hear BlakeSpot is the Curse of the Black Pearl. In Pirates of the Caribbean. So I keep. I thought maybe you are a fan of Pirates of the Caribbean or something.
I'm enough of a fan, but no, this was long before Pirates of the Caribbean when I set that up. I think that was like 97. So
I love this part, this thing, this rotating galaxy. I've seen Action Pants Gaming. He was using a mod and he have it in pink color, but these rotating galaxies, being able to see.
I'd love for that to be in different colors. Oh, that would be fantastic.
That would be cool. You could
variety.
There was a mod,
like a harsh galaxy, like Emerald Galaxy, the ones where you pick your, choose your next variety show. It's just like,
right.
That'd be great if there was, like a color changing. So many parts would be nice. Anyways, like, build and then wish lists. Like, where's Santa when you need him? Jesus.
You guys remember the old sci-fi movies, correct? When we see in the movies like Star Trek and stuff like this, he try to make holograms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This in VR. I actually have my head, so these things move through my head right now. This is just so cool. I mean, I know it's literally nothing, but in reality, the feeling that you get when you see things moving through your eyes and your head, all of your emotions, if you want me to love your base, just put one of these on top of it. I can just stay there for hours. Tell us a little bit about the story behind this build. Oh, it's raining. It's raining toxic on my head. Oh my god.
Oh, it is raining, isn't it? Yep, yeah. I see the rain as well. So I guess I mentioned I like smaller bases. I started a series of posts on the blog called, category tiny bases. And I started, when I realized that it would be kind of an interesting exercise to just try to every month make like a really super detailed small base. And so I started doing that. I was in that mindset still here, but it's not as small. So I saw this hollow tube, which you see on other worlds, but I decided, it would be cool to put a base in the middle, smallish. And so this actually originally was smaller. I added it out a bit, expanded it a bit. But just kind of an outpost. This is sort of like, outpost on a somewhat hostile world, a comfortable place in the rainy, weird planet.
Outpost.
I'm hearing that echo again, sadly.
I love the idea about building an outpost in the middle of something so hostile. I think you really pay a lot of attention to all the different details that a lone traveler can face. Correct. I still didn't see a TV, but I seen this big screen here that act like a TV. So we are cool.
There's a little something over the kitchen window there. So there's a TV. That's what I call a TV anyway. The blue thing. To the left, actually, or behind you is, but it's not. Yeah. Anyway, bedroom, and I guess it's when I find a world that's sort of hostile, it seems. It feels interesting to me to build something that's kind of a cozy spot in the middle of it. I actually wish that there were more. One of the wishes I have for the game, kind of like there's a book called The Life of Pi, where they land on this strange island in a boat. But I wish there were worlds that were so hostile. Like, for instance, as soon as it turns dark, like the ground gets covered with some horribly violent creatures that you can't possibly survive. Like it would instantly kill you, so you have to be inside, kind of thing. That would be a nice driver for base building for me.
Have you tried Prima Des?
Place to hide.
Actually, I should try everything.
Pitch black, or you just would be swarmed to the point where you're inside, that'd be fantastic.
Prima Death is on No Man's Sky is crazy in VR, but there is a game called Song in the Smoke. It's a VR only game, and you actually play as soon as it's dark. If you don't have your camp and fire set, and you don't have enough fire, you're literally gonna be eaten alive. Correct?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm talking about. That sounds good. I like that. Not every world. I mean, maybe not every world, but it seems like certain worlds could be like that, and I would enjoy that.
Prima Death is still very, very, very cool actually on in No Man's Sky in VR, but it's not exactly as you have mentioned. Oh, I am gonna be stuck here forever.
I did enjoy one of the expeditions was it permadeath or was it when
you die?
I like that because I did die, and I thought, okay, because I don't do a lot of permadeath, but when it really made me change how I played, and I ended up coming away being really pleased that was something that we were made to do. So I should spend some time in permadeath, but I guess I haven't yet. Other than that,
it's a good rush. The first 2 hours of the permadeath run are the best because that's like when you're really in the sticks. And with the new mode, you can crank all the stats to everything does more damage, and you can push it to as much of the limit as you can. And it's definitely a fun experience. I had a 60-hour run that ended when I kind of woke up half asleep and walked outside and was like, I can still play, and then just woke up to the file being gone. I was like, oops. So I probably just wandered out into a storm, but the Permadeath Expo was a lot of fun. It pissed a lot of people off. It was great. It just turned everybody on their heads, and everybody who got through it was happy and more accomplished for having doing so. So
it was a fun learning experience.
You planted these grass
by ants and stuff.
I think it was my favorite because of it. It was my favorite of the expeditions because I wouldn't have done it otherwise. But there was definitely some outlash. I remember people I'm going to return. Get my money back on this game. It's nuts.
Yeah, free update for a 7-year-old game. Rabble.
What is it?
Laughs in space whale. I was like, look at my whale, guys. It was so much fun.
This is not the end, my friends. Yeah, I remember this expedition.
I did an Elden Ring combo meme. The Elden Ring where it was get good, but it was Sean Murray's face, and it was I want you to get good or no space whale. It's the inspiration on the wall of the locker when you open up the locker, kind of Edge of Tomorrow, where you have to relive the same battle over and over again. It's just that's the one thing keeping me going right now. Space whale, and then they gave them away for free, or you can just go buy your own for $1 billion. And that was a strange change of events. So I was like, oh, everybody can get a space whale. Okay.
Yeah, that was interesting that we worked hard and then anyone can just get it. But Blake, you made this
$1 billion. That was the kicker. Right?
I remember it. I remember it. I really wish we can actually go inside or ride these space whales one day. That would be awesome. Yeah. Blake, you made this grass yourself? You planted it. Looks so cool.
The color,
I haven't seen something like this before. Very cool idea.
This space, I will say this space is I think it's a number of things that got kind of glommed together. It's not really uniform. I tried a number of different things out here. So this is more it's a little more random. It's not, I wouldn't say my best, but it was fun. And the main base itself in the middle, I like a lot, but I think I kind of kept going and, it's a little bit unfocused, but anyway.
I think it's cool because you have, the way you planted the trees, grass, and, the idea of building an outpost under, a toxic place is really, really high. And I fell down multiple of times. I don't want to fall again. But I like the idea of having an outpost in the middle of nowhere, correct? You feel alone again, you feel lost, and you just find something like this. Imagine how happy someone will be when, they found an outpost like this. And I actually like the idea that I can just sit here and just enjoy the view. Correct. You actually see the rings directly from here. So very well thought, with a lot of decorations, a lot of different places placed. Just taking care of everything: the carpet, the lighting, decals, a lot of attention. Like an actual people living. So I was touring Rosie build last week, and she really pays a lot of attention to the details, but you are just topping on top of that with lots of small details here and there. All right.
Yeah, and one of the things I do as far as the view you mentioned, like when I'm building something, I guess where I position it is typically me thinking, all right, well, where would I want to have a cup of coffee and watch the sunset? So there's always a view. There's always like a view somewhere out to a pretty scene. So, but yeah, this is kind of a little. I think it's a little bit of a weird one, but indeed the next one is a little more focused, I think. Well, though it's
we save the last two, the best of the last. Okay, let's go to the last one. Okay. And let's see from Max and Kim, guys, what do you think? And anyone we need to welcome in the chat. Any questions from anyone? How is the chat going?
It's going good. Miyogi stopped in.
Sorry, who?
Miyogi, Meogi.
Ah, Miyogi, yeah. One day I'm gonna connect with him. Thank you for joining, buddy. I think he have a stream also later today.
Yep.
We need to have his channel posted. Do you have the link of his channel?
Yeah, I posted it already.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Today is, as I mentioned, gonna be calm, cool, relaxing Saturday. I had a long day today. I hooked my my Quest 2 to my laptop, and trying to record my screen and play was took me almost 4 hours. So when I actually started to play, I was already so tired, because playing on PSVR 2 and then hooked to a PlayStation 5, when you just start the game and play, and then if you want to record, you just press on record, is a completely different experience when you are trying to play on PC with Quest or a PC VR. You have 5, 6, 7, 8 different softwares that don't connect to each other easily, and then you just need to find a way to make them all seamlessly connect to each other between taking on the headset, putting back the headset. And then I played a very nice game when you actually simulate going to space in a actual spaceship. So it's actually an actual space simulation, and it was a little bit exhausting to me. I mean, I played for like 2 hours, and I was supposed to use my spaceship to go to ISS, International Space Station, and dock with it. And it was rotating. The ISS have a damage. I need to repair it, and it was rotating very fast around Earth. My ship had to match the same attitude in space. And this kind of game have a lot of stuff that keep breaking all the time in 0G, so I got really dizzy. So I wanted really to have a cool, calm stream, and so far Blake is giving me this kind of stream. So thank you, Blake.
Excellent. Yes, I'm glad I'm not making you dizzy. Yeah, it sounds like it sounds like a dizzying game if you're having to synchronize and dock with a rotating space station. I have the Rift S, and I do get a little sometimes a little queasy in certain. I like to pick up. I play No Man's Sky in VR sometimes, and I think I noticed after the PS5 VR, I think it was January, February, the PSVR 2 launch, there were upgrades to all systems VR, PC. So I did notice, like, VR I definitely like some of the touches. The reason I hadn't played heavily was that it was difficult, at least earlier, to build in VR for me. I hear they've improved that. I haven't tried it out. So if building has gotten... I just found it hard to make precise placements. But, if maybe that's something that's gotten easier. Has that gotten easier in your opinion, or...
I haven't built a lot,
here.
so the biggest thing I built was always like, a big castle, and it always looked for me very fine because the camera placement always worked fine for me. But look at these planets. Look at the mountains.
Yeah.
Wow.
This planet, I happened upon this during I think it was Expedition 2, and I actually have another little base marked on the moon of this world, which is one of those dual chrome worlds that has interesting double color. But the scale of this, there's something about, I mean, I know you see the big mountainous worlds frequently, but something about that, plus the way the trees are placed, plus the snow, makes this feel like you're looking far, far further away. Like the depth seems much greater. And I don't know what the combination is precisely, but I've never seen any other place like this. And so I quickly made my way back here in the main save so that I could put some kind of a base here. And so I chose the top of what looked like the tallest mountain in the local area. But and this is a base that has two parts. And actually, where you are now, you're near the pad. There are two local teleporters. One goes up, one goes down, and then there's the main teleporter. I would say we should go to the up part first when you're ready to.
I'm just getting a little bit warm. Seeing this snow here was just a very cool touch because it's a really hot day today, and I immediately got the feeling that I am maybe on Tibet or the Himalaya, correct? When you have this massive amount of mountain chains across Europe, and with the snow and the trees.
If you look down to your right, on the other way, you can see. Well, we'll see it from above. But anyway, I would choose the close teleporter first when you're ready to go. The one on your right.
I'm coming. So we go up.
No, whenever you're sure.
Okay, you go first because I don't want any traps. You will be surprised how many times people tricked me. I'm a very nice guy, and people keep tricking me all the time.
Yeah, there we are. This is the upper portion of the base. Again, I tried to do go for a view with the kind of a cozy. I guess I'm always building cozy bases. I don't build a lot of metal Star Wars type bases. I've done a few, but I seem to be leaning towards the wood. But yeah, the views here, though, the scale is kind of amazing. This is probably my favorite spot that I have a base. If not this may not be my most impressive actual build, but the view is.
This is so pretty.
Yeah, it's nuts.
There are two planets, massive amount of mountains and snow, and you made the nice touch by making it glass. Really, if I can just sleep in here, that would just be fantastic.
More glass. I rarely use this much glass. I learned that I think when I was early on building, I used so much glass it ended up feeling not really like a base, but this one is all about the view. And there's and after we hang out here, there's another building, which I guess is the sleeping quarters, which is down lower on the mountain. I'm trying to think if we can see it. We can't quite see it from here, But yeah, there's two outside decks here, as you've found, and of course there's the urinal trough on the deck there. I always put those in my bases. I don't know what else. I guess that's a washing basin, but that's not what it looks like to me.
Hey, buddy, you like who's this guy? This guy is just
so
cool.
Top? Oh, there you are.
So there are 4 planets here in the view. That's fascinating. I haven't seen this in a while.
I have a base on one of them. The one that's just over the horizon, in the one direction, is a little base ahead because it's one of those really picturesque places where, like, close in, you see one color, and then further out, it's another.
Yeah, it does have color shifting.
But anyway.
But the loneliness here, correct? Something about these these mountains and snow and planets give also a little bit of vibe of Game of Thrones, correct? So
yeah, I think I can see
they
that.
have a Game of Thrones vibe, which will make depending on which season you stopped watching or if you finished it, it's a little bit of being inside, imagining being inside Game of Thrones, correct?
Yeah,
it's a very scary feeling.
I like that I thought it was. I like that this is like a ridge, like this mountain's kind of like a blade. It gives it a weird, because there isn't really anywhere to stand, so I kind of built around that. But it's it's a boxy base, and but it's high enough. I guess we're probably not seeing it at the same time. Ships just flew by, but it's high enough that ships when they fly by are flying by at unusual speed because it's as if they're higher in the sky. I see that a lot on these mountainous worlds, where they're and your speed itself, as you've noticed, will if you fly over a close peak, you'll slow down, and if there's a huge amount of space below you, you'll speed up. So it's a weird effect, but anyway, when it turns daylight,
you made this exactly on the curves. I really like this on top of the mountain. I think I haven't walked on top of the mountain very close like this before. I really hope I will not fall.
I love this.
You want to walk on this in VR? I would. This would give me some vertigo trying to walk on this. See,
edge. my construct is freezing from the cold. He's naked.
Yes.
Yeah. That's actually very, very cool. So, Blake, looking back in your gaming time, is there anything you wish you have started in the past, additional to changing your name, that you wish you had done and you didn't do? Is there any? If you had like a time machine or something, and you went like 10 years ago, what would be the things that you would change or do?
That's a hard one. I think yes, I would change my handle.
No. I say this doesn't count.
I guess I might. I would try. It would be interesting. A lot of MMORPGs. There was World of Warcraft and things like that. People, and I know there's modern equivalents. Obviously, we've talked about a few here.
I love World of Warcraft. I was a hunter.
Okay. See, I wish I had kind of given that. I didn't ever really give those a shake. I've never really gotten into MMORPGs, and I feel like now, for whatever reason, I don't think I could really give it a shake and get absorbed. But I wish I had maybe checked out that scene a little bit. Maybe when I had a little more. I mean, it looks like I have all this free time with doing this, but I just use the free time I don't have at work and when I'm not hanging out with my family doing this. So, I feel like the MMORPG ship has sailed, and I feel like I might have gotten a lot out of it, but I just didn't. So, but that's fine.
I think World of Warcraft was a wonderful feeling. But if I tweak a little bit your answer, it will be like, enjoy stuff when you can, guys, before before you don't have enough time, getting a lot of commitments in your life. I always keep saying this, when you have time, it's good to plan, but it's always important that you try to enjoy now and without thinking a lot about tomorrow, because in the end there is just a limited amount of stuff you can do about tomorrow. Max, you played World of Warcraft?
No, my wife did, but I think she played up until the Mists of Pandaria expansion, and was playing with her brother for a while, and got to do well, I knew at the time gaming sort of laptop that was so she was, but no, I played ESO for about 14 months straight, and that was my biggest foray into the MMO world, and yeah, that was fun. Once you get to a certain point, you're running around, you're level 600 and whatever, and you're tucking level 14s under your arm like doves into the battle and leading them into the unknown, and once I realized that the fun kind of died after a while of that, but it was good. Never joined any mega guilds but it was a good time. I mainly wanted to play it as a solo game to begin with, and it was kind of like if people kind of ran in front of me, I didn't complain, so to speak. So yeah, it was good. I liked it.
Yeah.
I haven't gone close to these trees before, and I'm so happy to see that they have some core inside, because usually most of the stuff in No Man's Sky, as soon as you get inside, there is nothing. But these trees actually are cool. Kim, you played World of Warcraft by any chance?
No, I'm just kind of recently, like in the last 2-3 years, into gaming at all. I mean,
only last 2-3 years, and you're already one of the best builders we have in No Man's Sky. That's that's interesting. Well, how do you feel about gaming?
Early? How do I feel about gaming?
Yeah, I mean, do you regret not playing earlier, or you are okay?
I mean, there were always games I played. Like, I remember playing Myst back in the day. I loved that, especially Myst 3 Exile was so fun.
Solid.
And, I picked up little ones here and there and played. But as far as, like, really, really getting into gaming, I mean, that kind of happened when I was playing Fortnite on my iPad, and then Apple and Epic had that big brouhaha, and then I ended up getting an Xbox after that so I could keep playing Fortnite. But then I found No Man's Sky, and that was it. So
that was it. Lucky for us. Okay, so Blake, should we go back and see the other part?
Yeah, let's go to the other teleporter.
All right, and I think let's take a time and check how long we've been on, guys.
Moving on towards an hour and a quarter.
Oh my god, I thought we'll finish in 45 minutes. Every time I think that somehow we keep talking for some reason. You guys need to make me shut up sometimes. What in hell is that thing? What is this thing? What is that thing? I haven't seen this thing before. This looks like a small, tiny, how do you say, the walker.
It's one of the trophies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the walkers.
Yeah, but
it's a build piece.
I haven't seen it before so close. So cool. I'm so surprised people are not 3D printing more of the No Man's Sky stuff. They will go wild. I mean, if I am, Chan, I will actually make a No Man's Sky brand and sell these toys. People will buy them like hot cookies. But yeah, I would like to have a couple of these on my desk. Or even these things, they put a lot of thoughts in these, decals there, and we can hopefully have them somewhere. All right, let's try to speed up. Go ahead. Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
So, let's see. No, I was saying I've seen a few prints of some of the statues, but they're kind of rough. I every now and then you'll see a really nice, physical item someone created on Etsy or something. I'll pick it up. I've got a few that I like, but a lot of them are kind of rough. But anyway, the thought about this was, I guess I didn't have a room where I built up top, so this is like the kitchen and the bedroom, with fireplace. Well, of course, there were 2 fireplaces up there. But anyway, this is sort of, I guess, the other side of the build. So, and again, I tried to... This one's not quite as dense as the other.
Wow.
But I wanted to get another... I think part of it was I was torn. I like the peek up there. And actually, if you look up through the ceiling window, you can just see the landing pad and the other top building through the window. But anyway, it's...
Which one? Yeah. I see it. I see it up there. It's all the way up. Yep, you are right.
Yeah, all the way up top. But I think part of the reason I built down here.
How come I feel this planet is moving? Because the clouds are moving above my head.
The clouds are close. Yeah, because you're high.
It's actually making me, for the first time, feel that there are kind of physics in the game. I haven't seen clouds moving above my head this close before, but let me just take a look here to this, because I haven't been able before to put my head inside this water tank here, and I can actually right now what I'm doing is actually I'm opening my mouth so that fish can directly go through my mouth. You see, like I can do like this, and I ate the fish.
It's
just so cool. All right, tell us.
Garmin.
Yeah. So this is like the second part of the base, a little bit more.
It is
cool, warmer.
I was kind of torn. I like this spot. Wow, I'm getting just torn up by these poisonous, these eating plants or whatever. But anyway, I like this spot on the mountain, to like the views it has. But I also wanted a spot up higher, and so I guess that's part of why I split it. Because if you kind of look over the edge outside of this little lower building, I like the views. Again, it appears that you really can see a great distance, and it seems sort of unique to this world versus many of the others I've seen. So, and I dig the fact that I like the snow and that the plants are sort of bluish, which is weird.
It has the this exotic, I just saw them. It has these exotic animals running. I just saw a couple of them. So just a very rare combination. Yeah. I have seen them. So being here is so cool in this heat. I know everywhere is kind of hot today. Max, Kim, what do you guys think about last build?
Very nice. I like the setting the most.
I really like the interiors.
Cozy. The lighting is fantastic.
You know what's missing here is a teleprick, correct? What is this thing that you can actually go and climb all the way on it and take you all the way up? What do you call these things? I forget them. Like a
teleporter?
Not a teleporter.
Like a ski lift kind of thing.
Yeah, like a telefreight.
Right, the gondola or whatever.
Yeah,
that would be nice. There you go. There's an idea. If you could shoot a spike across and have a cable, right, then you just
take you all the way up.
That would be cool. But yeah, I love this location. I can't get over this location. I'll come and just fly around or wander around here.
It's beautiful.
It's weird.
In the sunrise and sunset too.
Yes, I think the thumbnail you guys chose is a really good, shot of the sun coming over the peak. And if you look at the distance, you can see there's a giant walker defending a resource depot.
Where?
It's like if you stand, you see where this flag is down here, and there's a solar panel and a flag. Right. Yes. Now look along the ridge, away from. Let's see. Yeah, I'm looking at the. It's hard to see the YouTube versus live and where we each are. It's towards. I tell you, it's towards. If you're standing at the flag with the solar panel, it's just.
I saw it.
West of south.
Man, you are terrible with directions, but I found it.
Yeah.
It's just so cool.
Anyway.
Yeah.
This is a sentinel. It's a sentinel hostile planet. So like sometimes I'll just shoot that guy from a distance, and then the guys will swarm over, and I just go back inside and watch them use themselves.
It's so cool, actually. It's so cool. Okay, I think I didn't hear Kim feedback. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was saying that's about. I think you've seen. That's about all I've got here. Is all I was saying.
No, that's really appreciate you taking your time, Blake, and walking us through these spaces, your journey through Man's Sky, all of the different, how do you say, retros and the nostalgia feeling. I had a lot of fun today. I really really relaxed, and now this guy jumping around is not helping, but that's the beauty of having me having my setting, on the lower difficulty. I can just watch you guys die all the time. So
Yes.
no, thank you for your time today. They are repairing him. So Kim, Max, you guys, any last thoughts from today's episode? Any questions to Blake?
Oh, it was a good time. I like the micro use of space and tiny versus these like large expansive bases that
Yeah,
have
and you can sort of.
an echo to them. It's nice that you can turn around and look like it's every table's got something on it. I like that.
I guess with limited time, it seems like you can sort of like, maybe I'll build a new base, and if it's only one room, you can probably do that in a couple hours.
Yeah,
so
that's true. I like how they look really lived in and comfy, and like they've collected the kind of detritus of life and exploration and stuff. That was great.
Yeah,
Oh, and Joy
sometimes
Roth joined us too.
Who?
On the chat. Joy Roth.
Nice.
Hey, Joy, thank you for joining, man. We are wrapping up. So, if you guys didn't, join us live, please, appreciate giving us a like, and, you can feel free to watch this later when you are trying to relax and, drink something cool. The whole stream was so calm except the last 3 minutes when we had war for some reason
Violence
against the Sentinels.
You just had to turn it up.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. I think we're gonna wrap up. Blake, anything from yourself before we close? I really appreciate you coming in. Thank you for your time today. Any last thoughts?
Thank you. I appreciate your having me. No, it's been fun. It's been a nice chill. I did turn up the heat at the end, I guess, and this guy's running at me now. But anyway, it was a lot of fun, and I will definitely be, watching the. Again, I've only recently discovered your content, and look forward to seeing more stuff that you put out. So very cool.
Thank you,
Thank
you, everyone.
For both of you guys as well.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Max, for your always great company. Thank you, everyone.
Anytime.